Hello everybody. This is an impromptu video. I was drinking, as you can see, and then I was watching like old WCW matches, and I saw a Scott Hall promo that you don't see nowadays. It seemed like it was heartfelt. Talked about his drinking problem, and then he mentioned that the next year he was gonna have a kick-ass year and be on top of again. Because the year prior, in 1998, he lost his wife and home and whatever. It's an incredible, relatable promo that you just don't see nowadays in today's wrestling. It's all scripted horse shit. I mean, there's a few people out there from the companies nowadays, but overall, it mainly blows. So then I started thinking about who are the most, turn this shit down, who are the most relatable, charismatic pro wrestlers out there. And while I was drunkenly thinking, I got my little pad of paper, and I wrote it down. I wrote down a list of 10 wrestlers who I think are the most charismatic and the good. Because, I mean, let's face it, in wrestling, I mean, they always go wrestling ability and all that other crap. God damn it. I mean, the wrestlers we remember, the wrestlers we most care about are the people with the most charisma, personality, and, you know, the best get-up, the best gimmick, the best, you know, they got something going for them. So anyway, these are my most relatable, charismatic wrestlers. It's an impromptu list. It may not be accurate. You may not like it. I don't give a shit. I don't even think I like it. I think I screwed up on the list on some of the people. I don't care. Number 10 is Scott Steiner. Now, for years, I didn't like Scott Steiner. I thought he was a steroid freaking idiot. But I think over the years, that became his gimmick. He played off his dumb steroid physique and his steroid brain, and he used it to his benefit. I didn't like him really much in WCW. I hated him in WWE. His matches with Triple H were god-awful. But, I don't know, he turned a corner in TNA. He used it to his ability. He had a smart way of thinking about it. He basically looked at every opponent he was going to verse, and he just called them out on what they were. He mainly feuded with fat asses, Canadian people, and white trash and rednecks. So every opponent he versed was that, and he just cut a promo if he was a fat ass, or, you know, Canadian or white trash or redneck. I think when he feuded with Matt Morgan, he called him out on being a basketball player, saying, "Who's afraid of a basketball player?" God, he's a genius guy. Well, genius guy, that doesn't make sense. He's a very smart dude. He's number 10 on my list. Number 9, many people would say he's probably the most charismatic. But on my list, he's number 9. It's Hulk Hogan. Well, he's number 9 on my list because I feel like sometimes he doesn't necessarily put the effort into what he's saying most of the time. He just kind of, you know, coasts through his promos. But when he's on it, he's good. All throughout the years, if he's on it and he's really good, then he's really freaking good. I don't know. What else to say about Hogan? Number 8 on my list. Many people would say he's number 1 on my list. He's number 8 is The Rock. I like The Rock. Reason why I put him number 8 on my list isn't because of, you know, recently or even 10 years ago. My favorite Rock was in probably 1998 to 1999. That was when he was, in my opinion, when he was at his very best. He was great at being an asshole and being a jerk-off and talking down to Mick Foley, or Mankind at the time. I'm going to replay the song because it's good thinking music. So I liked Rock in 1998, 1999 when he had the big, stupid sideburns and he wore the dumb shirts and all that stuff. That's The Rock I like. I mean, 2000, when he became a good guy, he seemed like he was very catchphrase heavy with his promos and stuff. I mean, he was still good, but not nearly as great as those 2 years. But he's still great. Who am I to say? The Rock is still incredible. I mean, last year when he was in WrestleMania, that was the only reason why I watched it, was because of him. Alright, so number 7 on my list is Roddy Piper. Now, Roddy Piper is in one of those categories where every single time he talks, you tell people in the room to shut up because you want to hear what Roddy Piper has to say. In my opinion, this is the list. These 10 people here are the list of people. Whenever they talk, you tell everyone else in the room to shut up because you want to hear what they have to say. Roddy Piper is one of them. Now, post-cancer, Roddy Piper, not so good. He's kind of tired out. Doesn't have the energy. But Roddy Piper in WCW, I mean, WWF back in the day, was incredible. High energy motherfucker. Just a great guy to listen to. Number 6 is Terry Funk. He's very realistic when he talks. It doesn't seem like it's pro wrestling. It seems like it just comes from him. Him and his weird voice. I gotta hurry through this list. I'm taking too long. Number 5. This is kind of where I think I screwed up, but whatever. He's number 5. Is Scott Hall. As I mentioned, he's a very relatable guy. A lot of times when you see him out there, he looks like he's drunk, which is great. It's okay for wrestlers to look like they're drunk or high if they're out there. If that's what gets them through the thing, then it's fine. Very good performer. Kevin Nash is number 4 in my opinion. You know, I think his Diesel shit in WWF was his weakest point. I think he improved when he got to WCW, the New World Order and all that stuff. He just seemed like a badass guy taking over the company. Or, you know, wanting to take over the company. And I also liked him in TNA because, like, he seemed like he... If you ever... Go to YouTube. Watch the TNA clips of him and, like, Alex Shelley bullshitting in a hotel room. And he's talking about how his period in the WWF as Diesel was the highest grossing, money-making period in wrestling. It's some of the funniest shit ever. Kevin Nash always seems like he's realistic, and it's not like, it's never a bore to listen to him. It's always worthwhile. Number 3 is Mick Foley. Mick Foley is incredible. I'm running out of good things to say about these guys, but Mick Foley, in every company he's been into. Especially Mankind, because you always just really, as a kid, I have pulled for him a lot to make Mankind win, because he was just this scraggly looking idiot, a fat guy in a crappy suit. And then Dude Love was good, especially his stupid Tron video of that. Alright, so we're at number 2 on my list. Is, what did I put? Alright, yeah. Number 2 is Ric Flair. Now, Ric Flair wins the award for being the most entertaining at whatever the hell age he is. He was entertaining when he was 30. He was entertaining when he was 40. He was entertaining when he was 50. And that motherfucker is entertaining when he was at 60. Think about that. His best promos are when he's batshit crazy. Probably because he's been snorting cocaine or he's drunk, but his promos in WCW, when he's just freaking talking about humping women in the Marriott, were awesome. His promo in WCW, when he's getting interviewed by Mean Gene Okerlund, I think many of you have probably seen this one, and he's talking about how much he hates Bischoff, and he's threatening to leave the company or whatever, and then he starts taking off his clothes. He throws his shoes into the crowd. He then starts ripping $1 bills. He handcuffs himself to the ring ropes. And he's down to his underwear. It's one of the greatest promos probably ever. When you want to talk about great live TV and wrestling, that's it. You don't get that nowadays, do you? You know you don't. You get boring shit stuff with relationships and AJ Lee or whatever the fuck. You don't get good. You don't get a great stuff like that. The Miz can't do anything like that. No. Even like you know, people like to shit on TNA and everything they do. Ric Flair and TNA, that batshit year he had in year 2000, I shouldn't say, the year 2010 was incredible. The crazy promo he did with Jay Lethal, that insane promo he did with Mick Foley, where he started punching a hole in his head. He looked like he was having a nervous breakdown. I don't care if he was drunk all throughout that year. That was some awesome TV to watch. So, Flair is number 2 on my list. And number 1 on my list, you probably narrowed it down by then. Number 1 on my list is my favorite wrestler who ever lived. You know, people say, well, he hit his prime for only like 3 years or 4 years. I don't give a fuck. Nothing was more entertaining than Stone Cold Steve Austin, number 1 on my list. You know what? So what? He only had 4 great years. You know what? He gives a shit. He was like Barry Sanders. Nobody was like him. Nobody was more appointment television than Stone Cold Steve Austin. Every fucking night in 1998, I was glued to the TV set, being a 9-year-old kid, seeing what the hell is Austin. I didn't know what the hell Stone Cold Steve Austin was going to do next that year. That was what was once great about wrestling. You didn't know what the hell was going to happen next. Between him dousing McMahon in beer. My favorite one was, my favorite, like, glued to the TV set as a kid was when Austin, he freaking kidnapped McMahon in the wheelchair. And throughout the night, he said he was going to, like, take a sledgehammer to his broken legs, like in Misery. And at the end, I was glued to the TV set the whole entire night. At the end of the night, he took out a gun and he shot it, but it was like a fake gun. It said Bang 316. And then McMahon pissed himself. Just awesome. And he was never like, he didn't try to, you know, eager the crowd into cheering him, which I think a lot of lame wrestlers do nowadays. Like they go, oh, come on, please cheer me. Like Triple H, John Cena, Hogan's done it a few times too. He was very humble about his cheers. If they're, you know, sometimes you just get in the ring, they're cheering, all right, I got to get to this thing I got to say. I know that it's kind of weird, but he was, I don't know what to say. He was great, is what I'm getting at. I think a lot of people on this list, why don't include people like Shawn Michaels or Chris Jericho or Triple H? They don't seem like they're relatable or real. They seem like there's always like the wrestling going on. They're going through a script, or it's like implied or like contrived emotions going on. With these 10 people, Steiner, even stupid Steiner, Hogan, Rock, Piper, Funk, Hall, Nash, Foley, Flair, Austin, it seems like it's very realistic. And, you know, nothing's contrived at all. It's very real. And that's why I like these guys the most. If there's other people I'd include in the list too, honorable mentions, whatever the fuck, probably Raven, Sandman, Bully Ray / Bubba Ray Dudley, and maybe a few others, Goldust. I don't know, probably some other ones, but those are the ones I'm including in my list. No Shawn Michaels and his phony drama promos, or Triple H and his self-indulgent bullshit, or even that overrated CM Punk. Sorry, CM Punk, not going on my list. I'm talking shit to CM Punk like I'm more successful than him. Who am I kidding? Anyway, that's my list. I think it's a good one. I probably screwed up the order, but Flair is definitely in the top 5, as is Austin. And then I don't know after that. I just kind of wrote down names. But I think those top 10 wrestlers are good. Gotta end this video. It's almost 15 minutes long. Have a good day. Take care. Make sure to subscribe and have a good one. And enjoy wrestling.